5 Hamilton Court in Lalor. My name is Robert Osimo. I proudly represent the company of Harcourts, Rada and Co. And I'm joined here today by some of my award-winning colleagues in blue. Should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Michael, George, and of course Mr. Michael Cananzi and Alex Dukas, who's inside at the moment, but who I'm sure you've all had the great pleasure of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. We also have Harry just turning up now. So buyers, let me share with you now the following announcements which in place to help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for a 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in a flexible 30 to 60 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything's in there, everything is quite clear. Buyers, it's with my highest recommendation what we offer for your consideration and competition here today. A great opportunity, 753 square metres approximately of prime residential land here in the very heart of Lalor. A great example of an elevated triple fronted brick veneer. They do not build them like this anymore. Plenty of space for the family today to grow into. Comfortable as it is, but plenty of scope for you to add your own touches and modernise over the years. A fantastic garage providing an extra entertainment space and plenty of car accommodation here in the very heart of Lalor, where we've got access to so much wonderful infrastructure, parkland at our fingertips, transport at our fingertips, schooling and shopping at our fingertips. In fact, this area is so popular. This area is so special. I was speaking to the original owner of this property only 5 minutes ago, and they did not move far at all. They are still in the street, because once you're in Hamilton Court, it's very, very special mention for you, Joe. Once you're in Hamilton Court, it's very, very hard to leave. You have everything that you need. You can grow your family here without having to look far at all. So great opportunity for you and your family to create a similar story, starting right here, right now, and getting that sold sticker on the board. So if that is your goal here today, buyers, right now is the opportunity to do just that. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for number 5 Hamilton? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call. Start me where you like. At 720 is a great start. Thank you and welcome. Best of luck here today at 720,000. At 720,000, fairly been offered here at 720. What was that, Michael? At 30 now, at 730, 40 if you like, 50 is better. At 730,000, welcome, sir, best of luck. At 30 now, at 730,000 now. At 730,000, fairly been offered now, at 730 the bid. At 40 now, welcome. At 740,000. At 740 the bid and 50 got. At 750,000 now. At 7.5 and the bid's there at 60 now, at 760. At 760 the bid at 70 now. The quick retort at 70. At 770,000, fairly been offered now, 770 the bid. Bid's there, opportunity with you at 770,000. Haven't forgot about you, Catherine, also at 770 now. No, I won't. If you bid twice, it will, but it's going to be 10. At 770,000, make it 80 now. Can I say 80? At 770,000. At 90 now, and a great bid at that. Welcome them, George, at 790 now. 800,000, sir. At 800,000, even money now at 8. At 800,000, got to be 810 in the rise. At 800,000, fairly been offered. At 800 the bid. 800,000. I'll take the 5 at 805 and game courtesy, sir, at 10 now at 810,000. At 810 the bid. At 810,000, I will say that we are on the market and selling here today. No second chances. If you've come to buy, you must show me now. At 810,000, bids with you, sir. Keys are with you. We're on the market and selling. If there's no further bid, we'll sell there at 810. At 11 now at 811. At 811,000, sir. Best response to the small bids, a big one, and 15 now. At 815. At 815,000. 16, at 16 now at 8, 16 and 20 can I say, at 816,000 the bid's behind, at 8, 16 and 20 got, at 820,000 fight fire with fire, give me a bigger bid, at 820,000 the bid's there now, at 21 now, at 821 can I say 25 now sir, how we done over here Catherine at 821,000? Just waiting, no worries, at 825 now at 825. How's the buy on the phone going, George? Are they in or out? At 825 now. At 825,000, bid there at 825. At 825,000, fairly been offered at 825. At 825,000, can I say 26 at 30? At $830,000 now at 830. At 35, the quick retort again at 35. At 835,000. At 835 in the bids there, 40 if you like. At 835 I have. At 835,000, 36 now. At 836 now. At 836,000. At 836,000, bids back behind at 836. Take me to 40, sir. 836, 40 now at 840, at 840,000, at 840 the bid now at 840,000. We sell here today. If you've come to buy, you must bid me now or forever hold your peace. The bid's there, the keys are there. We're on the market and selling at 840,000. What do you say, sir, ma'am? At 840,000, bid there. 41 will get you back on top. 45 is a better bid. At 840 now, at 840,000. You don't want to see me next week and the week after and the week after. Let's get you into the market at 840.
I don't want to see you next week.
Oh, that hurts my feelings, sir. At 840,000. 845, welcome, best of luck. At 845, at 845, at 845 in the bids there. At 845, 50 now at 850. At 51, you know, so if you do buy today, you can still come and see me every week at 851 and the bid's there at 851. At 851,000. At 53, got him down to $2,000 bids, sir. At 55 now at 855. At 855, at 57 now. 60 at 860. At 860,000. At 860 the bid. At 65 now at 865 and 66 at 866 the bid. At 67. At 70 now, at 870,000, at 870 the bid. At 870,000, 72 got. At 70, was that 73, sir? 872 here. At 75, at 875. At 875,000, 77. At 877, at 78. Back at 80. At 880 now. 81. 82. 5. At 885. 886 now. 88. 90. 890,000 at 91, 92, at 892 the bid now, at 95, take me to 9 sir, 900,000 now, even money at that, at 902 now, at 902, at 904, at 904,000.
I'm going to see you next week.
At 900, you will sir, at 900, do you promise? At 904, at 904,000 bids there. Out, definitely done. Thank you very much for being 905. Welcome back at 905. And 6, at 10, at 910, at 12, 13, at 913 and 15, at 16, at 17, at 917 and 18, at 20, at 21, at 22, at 922, absolutely short, 922,000, bid still here, keys are still here, at 922 the bid, we're on the market and selling, at 922,000, this is the moment, this is the time, if you've come to buy, you must dig deep right now, show me your interest right now, forever hold your peace, we sell away in the absence of any further bidding, at 922,000, bids there, keys are there, we're selling, first call at 922, are we done? Second call at 922,000. Are we done? Finished? Third, final call at 922. The bid, all done, all finished, all silent out at 922. Ma'am, so we're definitely done over here?
There might be one.
No? How about you, sir? It might be your only chance for a win today. Are you sure? At 922? At 922 the bid's there. We're definitely done here? Thank you very much for being here today. Done on the phone there. We're done there, sir. Thank you very much. Catherine, done over here. Thank you for being here today at 922,000. First call, second call, third and final call. All done, all finished, all silent out at 922. We're selling, 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 sold. Congratulations and well bid. Please join me congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourt Strata and Co-auction. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again soon. Thank you. Congratulations, mate. Well bid. Strong.